Hello, this is Sheshachalam from Ashwagad, Mysore. So today let us understand a combination which is tough to understand for the fact that both these planets, that is, we are talking about Mars and Ketu today, Kujavat Ketu, very clearly suggests, the meaning suggests that Ketu is a sort like Kuja, that is Mars. That is, Ketu is as good as it is like Mars. But is it the same when both of these planets come together? Let us understand this particular point. We are talking about the confluence or the conjunction or the combination of Mars and Ketu. The closest Mars goes to Ketu, Mars loses its real strength, and Ketu also loses its purity because Ketu, as a pure planet, is a moksha karaka, one of the best planets in the whole set of 9 planets. That is what we are all here for, because to know the real reason of this birth, the cause of our life, and then try to understand the path in which we have to go ahead towards salvation, self realization, moksha. So, Ketu is regarded as the ultimate planet for self realization, moksha, and many other, salvation, XYZ. But when Mars and Ketu come very close, let us say the proximity is within 1 degree, then both these planets lose their real purity. Ketu gets into the influence of Mars in such a way that Ketu gets, loses the real sense of its uh, renunciation. Mars is actually a very materialistic planet, and Ketu is not at all anywhere near matter. Mars is for logic, Ketu here is for perfection. Hatha yogi, Ketu is a hatha yogi. Mars is an aggressive, logical, practical planet. So when these two fellows come together, let us see what happens. This is a big video, but I will be cutting short this video so that we will make another video if at all time doesn't permit. I'll try to finish it off. Wherever correction is required in any situation in this world, whether it is human behavior, human working process, or a machinery, Mars is the planet which is involved to teach how to methodically do a job in an industry, in a factory, in a person's life, a routine. Mars is the planet which is actually next to Sun. Why? Sun teaches you timing, routine, but it does not give you the motivation to do things. Mars is the Karaka for the third house, and it is the one which will motivate you to do what you would want to do in your daily life, in your daily routine, without getting tired of routine. Because I have heard today's date, people are tired of doing anything for the second time. How will you people even do your job? Because the same thing you'll have to do every month, every day, for every month, for the whole year. And by that time, you will be like, I'm bogged down with this job. I don't want to do this same stupid, idiotic thing every day. So you leave the job. Go where? You'll go to another job, which is also the same thing. Because if you are, for example, you are into CNC machining, maybe you will have or 5 or 6 components, you will be an expert in that, but they will not keep giving you new components every day, that you will be having some joy in experimenting. You will have to do the same components because the order has come for 1,000 numbers, the order has come for 10,000 numbers. You are sitting behind the computer, you are logging, the material has been loaded, you are going to log on to the robots, and then you are going to give the command to the robot, set the machine in flow, and then press enter and wait. and the CNC machine is now, it's a computerized CNC machine. It's cutting, and it is now, milling, turning, drilling, whatever it is doing. You have to watch. Obviously, people with a weak Mars will not go for the job at all, first of all. And a weak Ketu will never go for the job, because Ketu does not want to go into a job where, you are sitting there hours together and watching the same process going on every day. Same thing, just imagine the Mars is strong, Ketu is strong. That person can do the same job with precision every day. And we need these people in this world. We need the train driver not to sleep. Same track every day. He is doing to and fro, 5 hour distance, let us say, from 0 to 5 hours. He is not supposed to sleep. I don't want my train driver to sleep. I don't want my pilot to, become deaf. I can't, because Mars is for ears, hearing ability. And Ketu can give you difficulties of the ear, stability. We call that particular problem as vertigo. People having fear of heights. So we don't want that bad, unstable Ketu and unstable Mars. If Mars and Ketu are strong, these people will have no fear, first of all. Forget about fear of height and fear of anything. They will not have fear of speech. This is the most important factor of Mars and Ketu. One is logic, the other one is persuasion. He will never stop. He is like the scorpion, that is the Ketu. Mars has the full ownership of Aries, but when it comes to Scorpio, half of it is given to Ketu. So Ketu is the owner, co-owner of Scorpio. Why is it the co-owner of Scorpio? Because these people are having a lot of persuasion. They are persistent. They are committed to their cause. Whatever it is, good, bad, or ugly, they will do it if they give the word. Let their, it's like they don't want to go to that particular yoga called Vachanaprastha yoga. They don't want, that Vachana. That is, they give a word and then they take it back. They will never take it back. They will do it. Whether they like it or not, because they have given the word, they will complete it. So, Ketu is such a strong, ardent planet, and when it is sitting along with a strong Mars, these people can become extraordinary criminal lawyers. They know how to tackle criminals. They know how to trap them. So these people can go into a long way in law and order and justice. And one more thing, there is no benefic influence here, like Moon, Mercury, Venus, and Jupiter. These four planets can give prejudice, can give affection, can afflict that particular combination by what we call as addiction, longingness. These are all weaknesses. A person who does not have addiction, who does not have afflictions, of affection, he does not get bounded down by pressure because he can't, he is not able to do justice to his job because he is having some family pressure or some personal pressure. Mars, Ketu will, on the other hand, if they are not influenced by these benefics, they will have clear vision as to what is to be done.
Example, like some raw agents,
Yeah,
spy,
people who are,
detectives.
they know where they are and they know what they should do. In Hindi, if we tell this, it is having more bearing. बाकी लोगों को क्या पता है या क्या पता नहीं है, पता नहीं, लेकिन मार्स केतु जिनका बहुत अच्छा बैठा है ना, उनका औकात उनको पता होता है. औकात के दायरे के बाहर कोई काम नहीं करेंगे. बाकी लोग जो जुपिटर है या कोई और प्लैनेट है उसके साथ जो बैठा है, वो लोग औकात से ज्यादा कर लेंगे. Gone into big loss that they will do something out of their capacity. औकात से ज्यादा एंड औकात से कम उनको पता नहीं है, अपना ही स्ट्रेंथ पता नहीं होता है. सो टू रियलाइज अ पर्सन्स स्ट्रेंथ, the person's potential, Mars Ketu is a fantastic combination. You see this combination strongly posited in the 6th, the 3rd, the 10th, and the 11th. The Upachaya sthanas only.
These are the positive houses for this
Only
combination.
houses which are positive for Mars.
And Ketu
And
combination.
Ketu only 3, 6, 11. The 10th house is not regarded positive for Ketu because Ketu wants you to renounce your job. Who wants to renounce the job in this Kali Yuga? Nobody wants to simply get out of this job in the Kali Yuga. So,
And mostly they take contract basis work when if it is in the 10th house, because they don't have the continuity. They'll take a job, they'll do it, and then they'll go for another job.
yes, they will finish off. Their finesse is superb.
Yeah.
So, they are fearless. So, what actually happens here is the Lagnadipati has to be very clearly checked. If it is very weak in the chart or the Lagna point itself is having very less Sarvashtaka Varga, they do not have the resolve, they do not have the confidence to stand behind a rightful cause and fight logically. So what will happen is the fear is there that am I doing right? Do I, they always have this difficulty in uh, backing up with their own, pointed focus. So they are very sentimental. When it becomes weak, they also can go into depression. So the point here, what I'm trying to tell is, the focus of Mars and Ketu can get deviated if there is a weak Lagnadipati or a weak Lagna in the chart. So they can be technical writers, they can be screenplay technicians, very good, excellent, particularly in audio editing, sound editing. These people are perfectionists in that. Electronics, they are very good in gadgets. They are critics in film and editing and in writing books. So they are very good columnists. Columnists. They write very good columns. Journalists, that too particularly fearless journalists. They hit a point blank, direct, and many people dislike them because they are bold enough to speak what they want to speak. However, the quorum is, whether he is the only person who is against the move, he will stand up and speak. He is not that that fellow is behind me or not. I am not gaining support. They are not bothered. They will stand up and they will oppose. If it has to be opposed, they will oppose. So, uh, particularly, this is only for Mars Ketu in particular. I am not talking about just Mars or just Ketu. So, irrelevant and conflict arguments. This happens when you have a benefic along with this position. You have Mercury along with this position, they'll talk too much and they will get deviated, they'll not stick to their words, and they stick to their words not in the sense of commitment, but they will have gone somewhere else, they will have moved the subject itself. And if you have Jupiter, they will be pompous, they will be talking only about themselves. Badai karna, apna hi badai karna. So this is like, they build up, they give you more of build up. That's what we use in India, build up. So the conflict arguments, which actually is not good in marital life. Somebody should complete the argument. It's not that you start an argument and you only have to complete it and you only always have to have an upper hand. That is where Mars Ketu people will have to be a little careful, because it is a negative trait of Mars and Ketu. So the mind is too active. Because of this continuous activity of the mind, these people face a lot of problems, uh, like sleeplessness, overactivity and tiredness, and non-performance in examinations for students, because they have done too much for the previous 5 days, and in the examination they are like disoriented, sleepy, fear, tremor, all this can happen. So people can get into problems of health in this particular position if they are posited, particularly in the 8th house, particularly in the 12th house. These two are very bad positions for Mars and Ketu, very closely conjunct. 8th and 12th can give problems of health, particularly piles, bile, blood inconsistency, thyroid, and shoulder joints. These can get into problems. So, if they are very well positioned, let's say Mars and Ketu are super well positioned for Mithun Rashi in Scorpio, these guys can be, masters in, martial arts and handling weapons, and they can also handle toxic, poisonous gases, poisonous liquids, particularly when it is sitting. You should see the Rashi, whether it is a Vayu Tattva Rashi, Jala Tattva Rashi, Agni Tattva Rashi, firefighters, people who are having mm, a role to play in corrosive chemical factories. Mars, Ketu, these people are very strong. You also should see Rahu and Moon in certain charts to understand this particular thing. But still, Mars and Ketu will have an attitude not to say, they will not say no to these types of job. They are ready for this. They are ready for these challenges. So, bone fractures, surgeries through keyhole surgeries are also seen. So there is one more very important thing which is there for this. I will close this video after this particular thing. Mars means real estate. Mars means construction. Mars means building. Ketu means sudden obstacle, stoppage, breakage,
Breakage.
stop of flow of money, putting a person into sudden litigations because he has done something wrong in that place. He will simply fight with the neighbor or somebody, and he'll then go for a court case. It has, there is a caveat which is put on the land, and it's no more, nothing is happening there. So I have seen many people who get caught into Mars Ketu or Ketu Mars Dasha. So they take some time to come out of it, because after Mars Ketu, you have Mars Venus, and then you have Mars Sun. So Mars Venus, if it is well positioned, it's okay, but it is a enemy, Mars Venus. So only after they enter into Mars Sun, I have seen that these people have got some liberation or relief from their, agitative, aggressive behavior, and also from the court and all these litigations. So the same thing happens with Ketu and Mars, because after Ketu Mars, you have Ketu Rahu and Ketu Jupiter, which is not that great for the native if he is already in a court case, because it will go up to Ketu Mercury, because Ketu Rahu, Ketu Jupiter, Ketu Saturn, they are all, they want to spend your money. What we call as in Hindi, we call it as faltu karcha. They will make you wasteful expenses. So this is, video which is actually, focused on the kind of time a person might go through when he is going through the Dasha Bhukti of Mars Ketu or Ketu Mars, and he has a conjunct Mars Ketu in the chart. So thank you very much.
I would
Tell
like
me.
to add one point, that is for the 4th and the 7th houses.
Hmm.
These are important houses.
Yes.
And if this placement is posited in that house, then that particular area, especially domestic happiness,
Yeah, 4th house for
marital
mother,
relationship,
7th house for wife and children, and husband and
wife,
not children, relationship with the spouse, and particularly
business transactions
business transactions, partnerships,
need to be
and 9th
extra
house
careful.
for father. So there might be some health complications and also some obstacles in business in this particular 4th, 7th, and 9th houses.
Especially 4th is really not good.
The two kendras are not good.
4th and 7th.
Any kendra, 1, 4, 7, 10 is tough
Yes,
for
1,
Mars
4,
and
7,
Ketu.
10.
So thank you very much for today's class.